In a world where there are almost infinite platforms, everybody's got their own platform out there. I wanted to compare Webull versus TradingView and tell you which platform I believe is superior when it comes to charting and doing your analysis in the markets. Now, I have been the person that has had 10 different platforms open at the same time. Oh, I trade over here, I do my charts over here, I analyze over here, and it got very confusing. So nowadays, I try to keep it as simple as possible. And I think that these are the two very common platforms people will do a lot of charting and analysis on when it comes to the markets, whether it's stocks, crypto, it could be really anything. I will have timestamps below so you can jump to different parts where I talk about different sections. This video is not intended to be very, very long. I want to simplify things as I have been using these platforms and I've done this analysis myself subconsciously over the past couple of years anyway. So if you want to go deeper into individual parts, we may actually already have a video on the channel in either the TradingView or Webull playlist that you can go and dive deeper into, or let us know in the comments and either I'll respond or other people will respond to those comments if you've got further detailed questions, diving into more of the specifics about a specific topic. So you may think of something like TradingView that we're looking at right here as a place that you do your charting and analysis. Like I draw my lines, I have my indicators, I can do my, squiggly lines, I can, point things out and do whatever. I can add in, for example, my profit targets. I can go, okay, I'm going to go long on the S&P here and I'm going to target, up here. I'm going to go stop loss here and I can visualize my risk reward, all that stuff, how far to the take profit, all those different things. And that's kind of what TradingView, I think, for most people is. But there are some aspects of TradingView that maybe you don't know about or that do offer kind of like that next level. And I think that the progression here is only going to get better as kind of like your one-stop shop. And I'll explain why, and you'll know why as we dive through the examples or as we start to compare different sections of the video. And then you'll think over and you'll pull up or we'll talk about Webull and you'll think, okay, well, Webull, as I pull it up here and expand it, here's a place where I do all of my trading. Like I can chart and, I got the basics down there, but they've got so much more when it comes to trading and orders and how they execute things. And it's like, if I trade, I might as well just use Webull, especially if you're kind of like a retail guy. You want to take that step up from like a Robinhood level and you want to get something that's a little more advanced that has a lot of tools or more tools at your disposal, but isn't like super complex or super old school like some of the older brokers out there. I know personally, like my dad is a big Fidelity guy just because that's all he's used his entire life. And whenever I see him on his phone or I see his computer, my mind wants to explode because I don't know how he possibly understands or can execute orders with any speed. Not that he necessarily needs to go with super high speed, but it just doesn't make sense. It's very confusing. But that's him because he's been used to that. And maybe this video will explain some of the perks of one platform over the other and might save you some time in terms of like fumbling around or using the software or the platforms. And this could be helpful. I'm here to tell you that these platforms are a lot more similar than you may think. So let's dive right into it. So in terms of the user interface, like the main platform, like the page, if you're on the web application for TradingView, it's going to be very similar to the app on your desktop. Very, very similar. TradingView has a mobile app. Webull has a mobile app. I will talk more about those at the end. I think there is kind of one that beats out the other in certain categories, but they kind of have, again, their similarities in terms of the app. So in terms of user interface, like when you get to the customized section where you can kind of create your own layout, and I have a video, I have a video diving deeper into creating your own customized layout on TradingView and on Webull on both channel playlist on this channel, and just if you search in the search bar of my channel on the homepage, you'll find them. But these are quite simple and quite similar. To be honest with you, there's a lot more customizations and widgets that you can add to your layout on Webull than you can on TradingView. So I would say Webull gives you the edge there. But I just, for whatever reason, I like the simplicity and how things flow and how just like the cursor flows and how all the stuff works on TradingView better. I find that there's less noise, but I also added the noise on Webull because that was my voluntary choice when I was creating my customized layout. So in terms of the interface and how this works, it's quite similar and things work, I think, fairly well both ways. Where we start to differ is when we get into the charting tools and the indicators. Here's where one, I think, clearly has the edge over the other, and it's not surprising. So when I look into TradingView, on the far left side, we have all these different tools. So I have the cursor tools, I have a lot of different trendline tools, pitchforks, channel tools, not as in YouTube channels, as in like different types of channels that you can draw on your charts. We have Fibonacci retracement tools. We can dive deeper into projection tools like your long position, short position that we just talked about a minute ago. And you have a lot more where that came from. Even the brushes, you have highlighters, arrow markers, rectangles, polygons. Like there's a lot more here. Text tools, there's a lot here. And then when it comes to you can even add emojis to your chart. I mean, it's kind of random, but like, I mean, if you want, you can do it for whatever purposes. There's a lot more here. Okay. When I jump over to indicators, and I say a lot more, I haven't showed you the Webull side yet, but I'll show you in a second. I jump over to indicators. And I mean, there is an endless list. If you go into technical indicators, large list, you can scroll down. You can scroll different strategies, profiles, and then patterns. Now, there may be a paywall, or there is a paywall, I believe, for some of these things. When you dive deeper into the different patterns and stuff, you'll have to pay for a premium, I believe, TradingView subscription, which also will factor in here at the end when I talk about kind of like the pros and cons and which ones I think are better for who. But these things are not all free. There's a paywall for some of them, but they have a lot. And in terms of financial statistics and stuff, there's some stuff there too. And then there's community indicators and stuff that you can dive deeper into. It literally endless. You can search for things. It's an endless list almost of indicators, strategies, tools, and all that great stuff. Now, jumping over to Webull, when it comes to charts, you get a lot of the basics. So you get a lot of the same basics. You have a lot of the same basically drawing features that you would get on TradingView, but not as many. So there's the basic stuff, but when you dive deeper, and we dove deeper into some of those different tools, there's a lot more on TradingView at your disposal. But for the average or beginner, or someone who's kind of like beginner intermediate, like you don't need a lot of that stuff. And I mean, I personally like never use it. Like I never use some of the tools that are like deep down the list on the drop down menus on TradingView, but you get a lot of the same things. I will say that the drawing tool here is not as clean. Like here's me, you kind of see there's a bit of a lag, and then like you got to click it twice, and it's not as nice of a drawing tool. Personally, I like the TradingView drawing tool way better. When I jump back over here, I can just draw things. Like it's just so clean, it's nicer. I like it a lot better personally. Just how it works, how it flows, how the cursor goes, and all that stuff. So in terms of indicators as well, over on Webull, you jump over here. They give you a list of a couple main ones. I have a volume profile on the right-hand side. That's the VP right here. You can customize them very similarly in terms of how you want to customize individual indicators. But I will say, when I jump down to the drop-down menu, there are not as many. You have a list of like, I don't know, maybe like 50 or so indicators here on Webull, and there are not as many as you get the ability to look at on TradingView. Just straight up, simply put. The basics are all here, but the more intricate or advanced, you could say advanced, maybe that helped, maybe it doesn't help, indicators are not on Webull. So I would say that TradingView definitely makes or has an edge there. In terms of research tools and scanning tools, let's dive into that next section here. So I'm going to go to the Markets tab here on Webull. A lot of stuff. You can sort by top gainers. I can even customize the amount of widgets that I show on this, so I can add different things. They have a lot of things like quotes, which more so I would say is useful for like customizing your trading layouts. But in terms of the general section, there's a community section, there's messages. You can go into the market section and then watch different industries, have a heat map up on the screen like we kind of see on this screen. There's a lot of, most of the main stuff I kind of have here. So a lot of good stuff. Obviously, it's there. There's a lot of good information here. When you jump over to TradingView back here, you can get a lot of those same things. It's just like not as easy to find, and like the pages are not as simple to find. So I can go back to TradingView, and for example, I can go to like the home screen. And if I was to go to their home screen right here, you'll get to a page that looks like this, and you'll get things like the market summary. You can look into individual things, stocks, crypto, Forex, like very similarly how you could do that on Webull. There's even some community ideas popping through and different stuff that kind of pops up, and get some news, high volume, volatile stocks. It's not all like right in front of you. You have to kind of scroll down and find it. Then there's even the news section down here. So it's kind of similar, but a little bit more difficult to find. whereas you can kind of overlay a lot of that on the same place and customize it better with Webull. But at the same time, back here on this page on TradingView, you can also pull up things on the right-hand side. Like, for example, I have the quote that's logged up right here. It gives you some stats. You have some comparisons. You've got some information as you scroll down. And then you can even find news. If I jump into here where this little icon, this little lightning bolt icon is, I click on that. It opens up a news tab, and it has a lot of the relevant news related to that symbol that you're looking at. It even will pull up the ideas and the minds section, which are people's kind of commentary, or the minds is people's commentary on SPY, literally live. You can see like 608 coming, entered calls, whatever people are talking about. And then the ideas are like more detailed charting analysis or videos or kind of like blog posts almost that you can pull up based off what people are saying and click on these things and see how they're, what they're talking about and how they're getting to that conclusion and stuff. So kind of similar, a little bit different in terms of the routes that they take, but kind of similar stuff here. Okay, so I kind of see like it really just depends upon what you want. You want it all in one spot right in front of your face like you have on Webull, or do you want to kind of look a little bit deeper for it and find things? Maybe it's a little bit more organized, not as crammed and congested, which is what you kind of have on TradingView for when it comes to research. Okay, now the next thing is screeners. So I go back to the home screen. Underneath the product section, you go to screeners, and that's where you'll find the screening tool that we're going to now compare. So you can screen different things. Like they have like, a stocks, this, that. I personally like to go in here, and I like to just go in one by one and enter my customized, filters on my screener. And there's a lot here. So I can screen by my watch list, different index, price. There is a lot here, and you can pretty much customize almost anything when it comes to the screeners by performance, extended hours, evaluations, a lot. And my favorite part of this is I can go and see how it has like a list of all the symbols. I can jump over here to a chart view. So I have a customized screener myself. And if I go to, for example, the stock screener section, I've already saved this. I can go to a long momentum screen, pull up my long momentum screen, and I'm actually not going to save the changes to that. And then boom, we have, for example, one of these platforms I've been using, and I can customize this to the candlestick charts that I want to see, customize them to like 6 months and see how these charts are looking out. And I have a big customized view of all these different charts, which is really, really nice. So I can see these charts quickly at a glance and then click into the ones I want or add them to a watch list and go from there. Whereas if I jump down to Webull, you are a little bit limited. Not that it's bad or that it's not sufficient for the beginner. No, it absolutely is. But in terms of looking at this, we have this big list. I can hover over these different stocks or hover over their spark line, and then I can see kind of how the chart looks, and I can customize it to go out to the past, couple of weeks or couple of months. And I can zoom out, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as easy to look at, I think, at times, and it's a little more confusing. It's not as clean. But the filters up here are the filters that we have. Not as many. Like they're simply put, without going into all of every single thing, there are not as many that you can get, or in terms of filters, that you have on Webull. A lot of the basics are certainly there, but not as many as you would have with something like TradingView. Okay, so you can kind of see the limitations here. Just similar tools, but not as many tools. They've kind of like, Webull's kind of, the way I view it is like they've kind of gone at things and said, okay, like what are the things that like most people use? Let's have those on there. And then over time, they've added a couple things here and there as they've gotten requests and as people have maybe complained about it. And they're like, let's just do what most people need. And like, we're probably good instead of having to worry about a million different things. TradingView is like, no. You're going to pay if you want to get access to like more and more things, but we're going to have everything you need. That's kind of how it seems to go. Okay. Webull, again, like I should mention here, I'll talk more at the end. It's free. Like you can just make a Webull account for free or have an account with no money in it. Like the account that I'm looking at right now, I have a couple different accounts, IRA, this, that, but the account that I'm looking at has like 1 cent in it because I used to use it. Then I took all the money out. I guess I left 1 cent. I don't know. But you don't have to have, like, it's not paid. You're not paying for this. I guess when you're using Webull, there's fees and stuff, small little fees, that you're paying for, but you're not paying for a lot of this stuff. So we talk about that. Let's talk about the quote now. So I'm going to compare the quotes here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to back my way into, I guess I should pull up the voice quote. It's kind of funny. You can pull up this and have them like audio, like have this in the background where like the computer is just going to tell you SPY and then the price every couple of seconds, which is kind of cool. But I'm going to utilize this to compare our quote on SPY here, our quote on SPY on TradingView. So boom, they're now literally side by side. And so I was watching this before, and what I'm noticing, or what I had been noticing, is that it seems as if that the Webull quote is just like a millisecond or slightly. Now they're not pulling the exact same speed here, but it seems like the Webull quotes are a little bit faster, or coming in a little bit faster than the TradingView quotes. Now, to be honest, they're pretty darn close. I'm not going to complain too much about these guys, but it seems like Webull is just a touch ahead. See how like we dropped under the 50 there on Webull, but then we took a second extra on TradingView. It seems like Webull is just a second or two ahead. See how we're at 47? Boom. It was like a second delayed on TradingView. That's the thing. That's what I've come to notice. Nothing crazy, but it's worth comparing, and, you know, slightly behind by like a mil. And if you're a scalper, maybe that matters to you. For me, not a big deal. So when it comes to trading, people don't realize you can trade on TradingView. So if I jump down, I have to either connect a broker, which, funny enough, I guess I should pull this up or mention this as we're here. If I was to log out of my paper trading account, there are a lot of brokers that they have offered. Okay. Webull is one of them, which is pretty cool, right? So if I go back in here, I can, and I have done this, I can connect my Webull account to TradingView and trade my Webull account on TradingView. Pretty darn cool. There are some limitations, which we'll talk about here, which I think TradingView is getting better, but there are some limitations. Okay. So I'm going to go to the paper trading so you can see it a little bit easier and compare them straight up. So I got to click on the trade. Now it pops this widget or this section open up on the screen. And now we have on our screen the ability to put in a sell, buy orders, markets, limits, and stop orders. We can also use this, which is outside of regular trading hours. So the orders will execute outside of regular trading hours. And this is actually a pretty big one for me, because I used to always hate how, like, with something like TradingView, you know, you could have a stock position on, but then once you hit 4 p.m. Eastern, it was, whatever happened is irrelevant. So now let's say that there's a big gap up overnight, and in the pre-market or the after hours, there's a bit of a move where you're close to your take profit, and your take profit hits, but it happened overnight. Well, it'll still take profit because you have selected the outside of regular trading hours options. So all that stuff is there. I can enter my take profit and stop loss. I can visualize them on the charts by adjusting them up and down, and it will show me how much money I'm risking, how much money I'm going to gain on the position based off of where I have my take profits and stop set. I can adjust them by dollar amounts that I want to risk, percentage that I want to make or risk. I can add a price specifically, or I can put the amount of ticks if I would like to. So this is kind of cool. You know, you have the calculator feature for units and your percentage risk. I can change things around, use a market stop and limit order. We're kind of cool. Also, they have the depth of markets. This is like a price ladder, so I can enter my orders based off the price ladder. So for example, if I was to exit out of this and I was to say, okay, I want to get filled at, 609.09, I can put my order in, or I can click on that, and it will allow me to utilize, or it'll pop this order window up. But there's also ways I can customize this so where it'll just enter super quick, and there's settings to customize inside of TradingView as well. Super nice. There's a flatten button, a buy market, a sell market button to getting quicker, a clear or cancel all orders, and then a reverse as well, which is nice and fairly straightforward. Webull, I will say, has them beat by a little bit here, because if you jump over to Webull, there is a lot more when it comes to orders. So this is back in the classic trade widget. So you have a lot of different things here, but there's a lot of different order types. You've got trailing stop losses, stop limits, stop orders, market orders. So there's a couple different extra things like a stop limit and a trailing stop loss that we have the ability to utilize on Webull. There's even an option right here to click on the plus, which will allow me to create orders from the chart pretty easily or create alerts very quickly. So there's that. There's even the price ladder that's very similar to what we had back on TradingView, but it's Webull's version. And then there's the Turbo Trader, which is allow you to get in and out faster. So if you are more of a scalper or market buyer, market seller, you can customize this and get in very, very quickly and have your orders kind of execute pretty fast and very, very efficiently. So I think you have more at your disposal. Plus, you also have the options to utilize advanced orders. One cancels the other and things like that in terms of advanced customized orders on Webull. That is also a feature. If you want me to have a video separately on that, I can definitely make one, because That is confusing in and of itself. What does that mean? How does it all work? I think it's worth its own video. Now, in terms of community, there's a good community feature and function, even inside the mobile app on Webull as well, but there is a widget that you can pull up and people can talk about different things and throw ideas around. But I do think that TradingView has Webull beat when it comes to the community section. So if I jump in or onto the right-hand side, there's a chat widget, and then there's even the mines section. So I can jump deeper into the mines section, which is the bottom here. Underneath the quote, there's news, ideas, and then mines. I just think that it's a little bit cleaner. It's a little bit nicer. And the ability to kind of see things and look at the ideas and see people's thought process and click on people's posts, expand them and look at what they're talking about is a bit nicer when it comes to TradingView. So for example, like you can even pull up videos and watch people's video analysis on their TradingView profile, literally inside the ideas section of TradingView, which is pretty cool. And it's right here. They also have this back on the home page. So if I was to go back to TradingView's homepage and I was to go to the community section, I can jump into the community section, and right here, they've got a very nicely curated list of different ideas and posts and all that great stuff by popular editors' picks, things that they think are for me based off what I look at and what I see. And it just makes it a little bit nicer, a little more curated to me and to what I'm looking for, and a little bit easier to navigate. I'll quickly touch on the mobile platforms. I think when it comes to mobile, it's very simple. Webull has a lot of the same things that they have on the desktop platform on the mobile app, so you can utilize a lot of that stuff, whereas TradingView is very simple and very straightforward. You get the basic charts. You can do all your analysis. You can do all your charting on the mobile app as well, and I do that. I like to set alerts. I like to do all that stuff on the mobile app, and it makes it super easy. But I think Webull just has, again, more to offer when it comes to like the trading side. Mobile app, I think, is great for quick analysis, quick charting, but I do find myself when it comes to the trading side of things utilizing my Webull app pretty much exclusively. So when we boil it all down, I think our answer is quite simple. TradingView is going to offer you a lot more than Webull is going to offer you, but you'll have to pay for it, whereas Webull is free. And you may have to deal with some limitations in terms of not getting the same amount of indicators and in terms of maybe not having the same clarity from the ideas and mind section on Webull and the ability to do all of your trading right there. Whereas TradingView is going to have the extras and maybe the simplicity, the ease of use, the better functionality, but it's not going to allow you to trade as much as you can on Webull. But TradingView does have some of the basic orders. And so if you are someone who just trades stocks, for example, like myself, if I was to connect my Webull account to TradingView, I would do so and I would just trade the stocks I want to trade on my TradingView charts and barely even look at Webull because I have all I need. But if I trade options, you don't have that on TradingView right now. You can look at them, but you can't trade them. And if I wanted to use advanced orders, I can't really do that on TradingView as easily or even at all, depending upon how advanced I want to get. So it really comes down to your personal preference. But I think what I should also mention is the pricing. So when it comes down to it, you can get a free account with TradingView. Like there is a free account, which is the basic. So you'll get, one chart per tab, number of one save layout, a couple different basic things, 17 chart types, data going back 7 or 8 years, and, some basic stuff. But if you want to get more advanced and get more charts, more indicators on your charts, you can overlay more alerts, more technical stuff, more historical bars, all that stuff, you'll have to upgrade to either the Essential or the Plus. I currently have a premium membership. I paid annually. I bought it during like a Black Friday sale when it's like super discounted, so it's worth it to me. But you don't need this stuff. You don't. You absolutely don't. However, if you come to find that, I want to use this. It's behind a paywall. I want to try the patterns. I want to try the automatic pattern overlays. Behind a paywall. It could be useful to you if, again, this makes sense and the amount of money that's going to cost you is not eating into either profits or the money that you can afford to spend on your analysis. So what do I personally do? I pretty much do all my charting, all my analysis, all of my alerts on TradingView. I like it so much better. It's so much cleaner. And then I execute all my orders on my different brokers. Some of the brokers can now be traded on TradingView. So I definitely do and will take advantage of that. But it's also not the end of the world based on how I do things to have my app right here, have the platform on my phone, do all the analysis on my charts right here, and then just execute the orders on my phone from whatever broker I am using for a specific trade. Where if it's crypto, I use a different broker than when I do stocks, etc. I hope it was helpful. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you're looking for a comparison between Webull and Robinhood, there's a video up on the screen now that will be a perfect video for you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.